You said that you saw changes in your entire family as your mother passed away. You don't have to go into those changes if you don't want to, but whatever those changes were, feel free to share them if you do feel comfortable. But do you see that parallel in patients that you have as well, or do you feel you went through a very specific set of circumstances?
I mean, everyone's circumstances are very specific, to be honest, right? Everyone has their own way of dealing because every family has their own set of rules, and there's every family has their own dynamic and the way they relate to each other, the way they talk to each other. So every situation is really specific. But I think that one of the things that I really try to work with people on is something that I saw that we were kind of working in that direction, which is rather than all of us going through the same situation, with our own parallel processes, where we all kind of went through it alone. I think people definitely cope better when the whole family goes through the experience together. When you have open dialogue and people can talk openly about, about their feelings over a meal, whether it's a weekday meal, a Shabbos meal, or even just a lunch in the middle of the week, because that's when everyone could be there. I think people have really can have really very different and much more empowering experiences with their loved ones, with their family members, so that they're not just coping by themselves and going through this alone.
Break down a little bit, and this one I know is from total ignorance on my part. Don't worry, I'm ignorant. I'm going to be ignorant this entire conversation because I don't know
Hey,
much
me
about
too.
this
We're
field.
all learning.
Going through losing your mother, which was, and for those of you that have not lost your parent, I have not. I cannot imagine, and I will not imagine until I lose my own. But how can you go through an experience of losing a parent and be like, yes, I want to go through that again with someone else? Is it because is it because you immediately saw that I wouldn't say silver lining, it's the wrong term, but you immediately saw your utility? Was that it, or was it just the burning desire to do it? Like what was it?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. It was a light bulb moment, but it didn't happen right
Like
away.
just to break it down for myself and the viewers more than yourself,
Yeah,
because you already know the answer. But if
yeah,
I were to escape a dungeon of some masochist, go through a horrible, evil experience. As soon as I walked out of the house, I would be like, oh my gosh, I want to visit like 30 other torture dungeons and help people out of that. I'd be like, I don't want to have anything to do with that ever again, you know?
yeah. Like I said, that's why I always ask people, like, "Are you crazy? Like, why do you want to?
Right.
Like, why do you want to do this?" Yeah, I mean, maybe there is a masochistic tendency in it. Maybe. Um, I really think that a lot of it really came from this place of that I was very lucky to have, good help and good support. And I know a lot of people don't have that. For those who know my family, they'll tell you like we're big communicators. Sometimes too much, people will say. Um, you know, so it's kind of like I remember even like people telling me at the time like, oh, don't say cancer, Yanamachla. Like there's a lot of things that people do meaning to be helpful. I mean, I remember, so my mother died, um, it's like Chavtes Cheshvan is her yard site. Okay, so I remember meeting someone that I knew from yeshiva at the mikvah. There's always like a funny way to start a story, right? I met them at the mikvah, Rosh Hashanah, Erev Yom Kippur. And he knew my mother was sick, and he meant well. I mean, he was a rebbe, and he meant well. And he said, like I know she's really sick. Like you should really like think about taking on more things. And I just like really struck like, well, that's not very helpful. Like, okay, maybe he means well. I'm sure he means well. Like, is that really helpful? And I knew that a lot of people um, who had gone through things more of like that, where people who don't know what to say the wrong thing, meaning well, not meaning ill will in any way. When I was sitting Shiva, some of the more helpful visitors were from those who had lost parents at a relatively young age, and had, again, a lot of it wasn't like, okay, here's exactly what you do, but here is what terrible things well-meaning people will say to you.
We'll say, right.
You know, like one of my grandmother's friends who asked my father, "Oh, you're 47, 48, okay. Oh, you can get remarried yet?" And my father's like, "Do you mind if we finish Shiva?" Like, so like that's kind of more of where I was what I was thinking. Like I had this experience different people had similar experiences, and obviously everyone has their own experiences, but maybe I could use this in a way that would be helpful for people into something that they need rather than what they get.
Right. Right. Okay. Amazing. Beautiful answer. Beautiful answer.
I mean, again,
How do you
like I
not?
said, it took time. It wasn't this light bulb moment.